Researchers at BYU are looking into the effects of gaming, not just in children, but also their parents. Unlike previous generations, this generation of parents is probably the first to have been raised on video games and still plays them as adults. But addiction to gaming doesn't just go away when someone becomes an adult. Right now, there aren't any hard guidelines about how much screen time adults should get, but we did speak with one parenting expert who has some guidance.
I would use exactly the same formula that I would give to children, in the sense that we have to think of it not so much as time allotted, but the balance between how all the other essential elements of your life and your responsibilities are being laid out.
She also emphasized how important it is to listen to your family if they're raising flags about how much time you're spending playing games.
The children will say, get off the game, get off the phone. And so it's the willingness for the parent to be open-minded enough to say that if somebody else is commenting on it, it means it's a significant issue.
Now, that's not to say parents should completely stay away from video games. Our expert says you could even use it as a way to bond and spend time with your children, as long as you do it in a smart way. Well, we'll get a look at the next generation of iPhones and Apple Watches next week. Apple planning to reveal phones that are similar in price to the 10 versions, but Apple is also expected to release a more cost-efficient phone as well. The big selling point on that is sharper cameras, possibly even a third camera. The phones are also said to be able to charge other devices like AirPods. Well, farms are for more than just crops these days, and now they're becoming a major tourist stop. On Monday on The Now, we're diving into a class that's showing people how to add glamour to farm spaces around the country.
A Friday night in September, and it feels a little more like October, actually. Temperatures will be back in the 50s. The cloud cover that you see out your window will begin to break up. Partly cloudy sky. Tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine will hit 76 degrees. The change as you look at the 4-day forecast is right here. Early next week, temperatures start to climb. That is the warmest temperature within the 7-day forecast. We'll focus on our best chance of rain coming up. That's all for the Now, Indy. The news at 6 starts right now.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Now at 6, could you be a target? A warning for drivers tonight from a woman who says what came flying off a railroad bridge could have resulted in something much worse than a damaged car.
Caught on video, but not caught yet by police. The owner of the tools that were stolen hopes that will change with your help in this video.
New videos about the death of a 10-year-old girl in Gas City. What court documents reveal her stepmother told police, the woman who's now charged with murdering her.
And the growing health concerns over e-cigarettes hits home. State health officials report the first vaping-related death in Indiana.
And we begin now at 6 o'clock with a nightmare scenario for any driver. Someone throws something at your windshield and there's nothing you can do to get out of the way.
RTV6's Graham Hunter is talking to a woman who says that's exactly what happened to her at Kentucky and High School Road on Indianapolis' southeast side.
You're not driving around, you keep your eyes on the road, but a woman here in Decatur Township says when you're coming through this underpass, you might do well to look up after what happened to her this week.
It was loud and it scared me.
Amy asked us not to show her face for this story. She's still shaken up by what happened.
I was going underneath the underpass. I heard a loud thud hit my car.
She was on her way back from the grocery store. The underpass is less than 1 block from the entrance to her neighborhood.
It's a single lane road, so it's not like there's a lot of, you can actually aim for cars because you have to go slow.
That's why Amy wanted to share her story, and she posted about her experience in her local social media groups as well.
To just point out to people that someone's causing trouble at night and be careful going underneath there, that they don't get injured or hurt.
And she realizes it could have been worse.
When I drive, I look straight at the damage and it is in my line of sight.
And says she will now go the long way around to get home at certain hours of the day.
I'm not going to go underneath there during night because I don't trust it anymore.
But knows a trip through is unavoidable.
I have to take my son to school at 7:30 in the morning at Decatur. That's the only way I can go.
The damage will be costly. Amy will have to pay a $500 insurance deductible to get her car fixed.
I have to fix a car that I just got, that money that I didn't plan on spending.
But Amy is just glad she's all right.
Luckily, it didn't break, and I'm not seriously hurt. I was just more scared than anything.
Working for you from the South Side, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. And police say they don't have any suspects at this time, but you might be able to help. If you know who was out there throwing rocks at cars, remember someone could have been seriously injured, and you should call police.
RTV6 is working for you tonight with a call to action. Take a close look at this video here. It shows a man breaking into a utility trailer, and within minutes, he made off with thousands of dollars worth of tools. RTV6's Nicole Griffin spoke with the owner of the trailer, who says the thief did not just steal from him, he took away his ability to do his work.
The suspect broke into this trailer here by prying open this side door. Inside, he was able to steal 2 toolboxes and a tool bag. Those are supplies the owner needs to do his job. This surveillance video shows the entire theft on camera.
It's terrible. When somebody's taking things that belong to you and not them, it's terrible.
The suspect was able to get inside by breaking the latches on the doors. Jerry Butler was temporarily storing his tools and other supplies here that he needs for work.
Most of those hand tools I've had since I was a kid. You know, my brother and I were the fix-it brothers. Anytime our friends broke down, they got a hold of us somehow.
Jerry is a maintenance man for several businesses at the Castleton Park Business Complex. That's where the theft happened Saturday night. And this week has been tough trying to get anything done.
Been a few nights of lost sleep because of it, wondering what I'm going to do to replace what I lost.
Aside from his tools, the suspect also stole an air compressor and a radio.
I like having my job site radio, too, so I can have jams while I'm working.
But now there is no music and little work being done. Jerry has this message for the suspect who took all that away.
Bring my tools back. You know, that's all I care about. Bring my tools back.
If you recognize this man, Jerry hopes you'll help him out and call police. Working for you on the northeast side, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And Jerry estimates everything stolen adds up to about $4,000. He says a few weeks ago, someone broke off a lock to another trailer parked in the Castleton Park area. If you have a tip for police, contact 317-262-TIPS.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast, and it's looked like rain for much of the day, but will we see any tonight? Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Greger is here to answer that question for us. Hey, Kev.
I don't think we'll see any rain tonight, and we're unlikely to see any rain through the weekend, and it's not just any weekend, Brickyard 400 weekend. Definitely cool for all of us until we get to early next week. There's the intimidating cloud cover at times today. It certainly looked like rain, and maybe you had a brief shower in spots, but clouds will gradually break up tonight. Just follow the colors. The greens are the cool temperatures. We've pushed the warmth into the southern portion of the state. That will continue to be suppressed south of the Ohio River. It's not until early next week that we get a surge of warmer temperatures. And there's the controlling factor. This north-northwest wind will drop the humidity and keep our temperatures below average. Up right through the field goals. As far as tonight, the wind will be northwest at about 18 miles per hour early and then relax. These temperatures drop to 70 during some of the high school games. 58 in the morning. Midday temperature tomorrow at 69, and the magic number for the afternoon hours with partly sunny skies, 76. We'll talk about how things change for Sunday coming up.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Kevin. Prosecutors want life in prison without parole for a Gas City woman accused of strangling her 10-year-old stepdaughter to death.
Amanda Carmack is charged with murder in the death of Skylee Carmack, and with those charges come disturbing allegations outlined in court documents, including suspected child abuse. RTV6 reporter Kara Kenny joins us now with a closer look at what experts say you can do if you're outraged about this case. Kara.
And a lot of people are outraged. Court documents say that Carmack confessed to strangling her stepdaughter because she was angry. Skylee's siblings told police Amanda Carmack physically abused them, including whipping them with a belt and making them stand against the wall with their hands in the air. Skylee Carmack was confined to her room for the last week and a half leading up to her death, court records show. Her stepmom, Amanda Carmack, told investigators she hit the 10-year-old on August 31st because she caught her stealing a charm bracelet. She reported her missing that night. Prosecutors say on Wednesday, Carmack confessed to killing Skylee because she was angry, choking her, strangling her to death, putting her body in a trash bag. The siblings told police Carmack would whip them with a pink belt and confine them to their rooms. It's unclear if anyone reported the suspected child abuse to the Indiana Department of Child Services. DCS says they can't legally share that information. Prevent Child Abuse Indiana Program Director Sandy Runkle says we are all mandated reporters in Indiana.
Every adult citizen in Indiana, if they have a reason to believe that a child is a victim of child abuse or neglect, must make a report.
You can report suspected child abuse or neglect to the DCS hotline at 1-800-800-5556. You can report anonymously. Signs of child abuse include unexplained bruising, if a child appears frightened of a caregiver, or unexplained behaviors like being overly withdrawn. Amanda Carmack posted on Facebook on August 22nd, she was frustrated one of her children was sneaking food.
So even if you don't see or witness distress on the part of the parent or the caregiver, reach out anyway, because not everybody posts on social media with regard to their feelings and how things are going. So why don't we just reach out automatically and say, how are things going? And we would challenge anyone to do that.
Sandy says many people are reluctant to report because they don't want to be wrong or damage relationships.
If you think something's going on, report.
We requested the DCS records on the Carmack family. However, DCS informed us due to a change in state law that took effect July 1st, we can't obtain those until after Carmack is convicted, if she is. Amanda.
Thanks, Kara. Indiana now claims one of the 3 deaths nationwide is tied to vaping, and it has health officials urging you to put down your vape pen until they can determine why at least 450 people across the nation have lung illnesses linked to vaping devices. Indiana is investigating 30 cases and has 8 confirmed cases. State health leaders say it has been difficult to pinpoint exactly when the illness started because with health diagnoses, it's not always clear from the start.
These cases have been reported over this summertime, but frequently what you see in these situations is that cases like this come out and then more and more people start to look back and go, you know what, we think that this actually was happening before this period of time.
Officials say many of the people getting sick have reported vaping THC, the active ingredient in cannabis oil products, but they say there may have been other ingredients laced in the user was not aware of. At this point, there is much more investigation to be done.
The Indiana Attorney General's office has won a $500,000 judgment against a Kokomo mother and son accused of scamming an elderly Air Force veteran out of his money. A Howard County judge issued that $500,000 judgment against Patsy Leal and her son Mario. The AG's office says they scammed Jim Carter, a Kokomo veteran, out of more than $100,000. Jim died in 2015. His son says in part due to the stress this caused him. The Carters say they doubt they will be able to collect any of the judgment, but hope this prevents the Lealis from taking money from the elderly. RTV6 was unable to reach the Lealis for comment. They have not been criminally charged in this incident. Savoring the sweet taste of success, the couple that hopes to take their business to the next level on Shark Tank.
And are you ready for all the interstate construction that begins in just a few hours? The areas to avoid are straight ahead.
There's a new #1 team in Class 6A. It's the Avon Orioles. They get their first test at the top of the rankings tonight here at Hamilton Southeastern. I'm Brad Brown, live with Week 3 of our Friday Football Frenzy. Coming up in sports.
And the first full weekend of September straight ahead, 71 in Peru. I just want to show you summer still lurks well to the south. We'll talk about when our temperatures will push 90 degrees coming up.
These offers end September 16th.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Big traffic alerts for you to know about that start tonight. One begins in less than 3 hours and will last 15 days. Another project begins at the same time and will last a few months. At 9 o'clock, INDOT will close the southbound and westbound lanes of I-465 on the southeast side. The closure will be from I-70 to I-65. It is scheduled to last 15 days and reopen on September 21st. INDOT did a similar closure on the north and eastbound lanes last month. At the same time, INDOT will begin a 3-month project on I-70 on the east side. It will run from Mount Comfort Road all the way to the Ohio state line. This will not be a full closure. Work will be done 7 days a week in the 10-mile stretches at a time. At 9 o'clock, the contractor will start the project by working between State Road 9 and State Road 109. That's from Greenfield to Knightstown. Lane restrictions will last through November. One lane will be open in each direction at all times during construction.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's initiative. initiative focused on helping you land your dream job, but sometimes that job is one you have to create yourself. And as we showed you in July during ABC's Shark Tank Open Casting Call, a lot of people are doing just that. We wanted to catch up with some of the inventors and innovators that we met that day out at IMS ahead of the Shark Tank Season 11 premiere later this month. Two of those people are Kevin and Lisa Gross. The couple is seeing sweet success with their business, Nature's Tea. They realized they could make a business out of the beverage when Lisa Gross brewed some tea for a party at their already established skincare business on West 16th Street in Indianapolis. From there, they started selling the teas at farmers markets, and their profits did not stop there.
Meanwhile, our friends in Chicago are ordering it by the case. So I'm actually loading my van up with cases of tea every 3 weeks, and people are buying it by the case.
Nature's Tea is now on store shelves in Indy and the Windy City. And will the Grosses come face to face with Mr. Wonderful, Mark Cuban, and the rest of the Sharks? Well, we'll have to tune in to find out on Sunday, September 29th, when Season 11 of Shark Tank premieres right here on RTV6. In the meantime, if you are interested in tasting some Nature's Tea, we put all their information on hiringhoosiers.com.
So you can't tell us. You know, I'm a man with no patience.
Nope, keeping it a secret.
I hope they do make it onto Shark Tank. Well, off the East Coast, there is Dorian, 90-mile-per-hour winds, Category 1 hurricane, and finally making its move away from land and no longer pushing in toward land. So that's the good news. Northeast at 24. Remember when it was stationary for a while? Now it is on the move. The upper-level winds have grabbed a hold of that. You're seeing kind of half of the hurricane here because, remember, there's no radar out in the middle of the Atlantic here. This is the coastal radar picking up just the western side of the storm. We bring it home just to show you, despite the cloud cover that we've had all day long, we're dry and will stay that way this evening. Really, the chance for rain tomorrow or Sunday, throwing in Sunday as well, is low. Just a 20% chance we'd have any rain around for the Brickyard 400. Maybe Sunday night a little better chance. Northern Indiana is much cooler than the southern portion of the state by 10 to 15 degrees in some cases. 71 in Peru and Tipton. It is 80 right now in Bloomington. 78 in Terre Haute. 73 in Muncie. Friday night football, another good night. Temperatures by the time we get to 9 o'clock with skies becoming partly cloudy, we'll still be in the low to mid 70s. The wind will calm down just a bit. As we look at the weekend, temperatures Saturday and Sunday both in the ballpark of 75. That's cool for this time of the year. There's the change, that chance for a shower during the day Sunday. We're not risk-free, but the odds are much better that we'll be dry than wet. Good news for college football tomorrow. 76 at kickoff down in Bloomington with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. It's a noon kickoff. It will be cooler at the start. 68 up in West Lafayette. Temperatures throughout central Indiana. All 92 Indiana counties will be dry with below average temperatures. More clouds in the morning. There's the gray, the cloud cover at 8 o'clock. We begin to get more sunshine as we go into the afternoon. And as we step into Sunday, Brickyard 400, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures, they'll be in the low to mid 70s. Cool. They'll want to warm up those tires. How about that? As you go to Sunday evening, couple of showers potentially, especially in the western portion of the state. But I think the drier air will kind of eat away at that and limit the overall chance of rain. There is the lead story for next week. The fact that temperatures will climb back to around 90 degrees, certainly upper 80s. Our chance for showers on Sunday. Our chance for thunderstorms Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. That comes along with the return of warmer temperatures, the return of some humidity. Summer is not over.
It's not over yet.
But weather is over today for me.
We've got a nice weekend on tap. A lot of stuff going on. It is a nice evening to head to the town of Speedway and enjoy the NASCAR Hauler Parade. You're looking live at Main Street where all the big rigs are parked. The trucks arrived a short while ago and will remain until 8 o'clock when they will all parade into the track to begin Brickyard 400 weekend. There's all kinds of free fun things for the whole family to enjoy there.
And from racing to the Colts kicking off their season this weekend, in honor of that, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett, Blue and Colts cheerleaders helped dye the downtown canal blue this morning. The Colts began their season Sunday on the road, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers.
And more Colts season kickoff fun right now. The annual Colts kickoff concert is underway downtown. It's taking place on Georgia Street between Meridian and Pennsylvania. Renee Blair took the stage first. Indiana's own Clayton Anderson is singing now, and Hunter Hayes caps off the night starting at 8 o'clock. That concert is free, but you do need a ticket. You can go to colts.com/concert.
And talking more football now, high school football, third week of the regular season.
Brad Brown is live at Hamilton Southeastern High School with the state's top-ranked team. Brad.
Amanda and Mark, they are right behind me right now. The Avon Orioles are the new #1 team in the Class 6A poll this week. And kind of the short question is, why Avon? Well, they've had a couple of big wins to start the season, putting up 89 points in those 2 victories already. And the fact is some of the top teams behind them have already lost as well. So when it shuffles all out here in week 3, here is what Class 6A coaches poll looks like at the start here of this third week, with Avon on top of Warren Central and Carmel. Something interesting about those 2 teams, each of their losses came to Louisville Trinity here in the last 2 weeks. Lafayette Jeff and Brownsburg also right there, and then Fort Wayne Snyder in the mix at number 6. As we come back here and take a look at the Orioles, they had big wins over Columbus North with 48 points on the board, and then a big win over Ben Davis, 41-17 last week. That really solidified them as one of these teams to keep an eye on. Really strong offensively. You see some of these big guys warming up here with the defense as well. They're going to have themselves a good test tonight here against Hamilton Southeastern, but really looking very strong as one of these top teams here to begin 2019. Here's a look at some of the other games that we'll have going on here this evening, along with this one with Hamilton Southeastern and Avon. Center Grove is playing at Carmel. Always a good one on the mixed schedule. Garrett Catholic and Heritage Christian are both off to 2-0 starts. They're playing out on the northeast side. Plainfield and Mooresville, another good one. Our GMI crew was at Greenfield Central this morning. We're going to look at them tonight as well. And then at New Palestine, Charlie Spiegel, the senior running back, needs just 12 yards to claim the state's all-time career rushing record. We'll be there for that one. A recap of all those for you coming up tonight on the news at 11. Mark and Amanda mentioned the Colts. Sunday's game coming up. This will be the first Colts game with legal sports betting in Indiana, so we get to talk about these things for just a second. The Colts are 6.5-point underdogs. Over-under on the game is 45. I'd say the safe bet on that one for me at least. Take the Colts in those points. Probably take the under, though. We'll see if either team can really get that offense going on Sunday out in L.A. A lot of question marks going into week 1, but that remains to be seen. We take a look at the rest of the weekend. We mentioned what's going on out at the Speedway. The Xfinity Series practice getting started today. Among the drivers on track was Indiana native Justin Haley unveiling this special paint scheme on his car. It's similar to an old family paint scheme. His uncle ran it. He's a drag racer back in the day. Haley's from Winamac, Indiana. A couple of top 5 finishes this season. He's currently 9th in the Xfinity points standings. Practice today. Tomorrow, let's get a look at the rest of the weekend schedule. The Cup cars have practice at 11 and 1:30. The Xfinity Series race at 3. And then it's all one-day show for the Brickyard 400. Qualifying Sunday morning. They'll go green after 2 o'clock, 160 laps to kiss the bricks at IMS. Finally tonight, it's the silver anniversary of Jeff Gordon's win in the inaugural Brickyard 400. Jeff back in Indianapolis again this weekend. Today, he received the Pathfinder Award from the Indiana Sports Corp, one of the top honors from that great organization. Our own Dave First hosted the ceremony. Gordon has remained one of the faces of NASCAR. Dave got a chance to talk with Jeff, and you could see some of that coming up tonight on the news at 11. Kevin talked about the weather. We have kind of a pleasant evening out here for some high school football. Have some pleasant highlights for you coming up tonight as well. Time to take a final break. Back to the studio to wrap up this Friday edition of the News at 6. Next.
Store, Ashley Home Store. This is home.
RTV6 is working on a very special initiative to try to help people who may be struggling. Tuesday is World Suicide Prevention Day, so we're taking part in a 2-hour Stop the Music initiative with Radio 1 Indy and the Indianapolis Recorder.
We are teaming up with mental health experts, local leaders, and survivors for the 2-hour ad and music-free discussion. You can hear that on all Radio 1 Indy stations and also on our RTV6 Facebook page from 10 a.m. to noon on Tuesday. And here on RTV6, we'll have resources and stories of people impacted.
With rain chances so low, it's really all about the temperature. And as you can see over the weekend, we're below the bar, below average as far as temperatures, but comes back in a big way by the time we get to Tuesday of next week. We'll be back in the upper 80s. But tomorrow at 16th in Georgetown and at any intersection you're near, should be partly sunny and temperatures around 75.
So enjoy that weekend.
A lot to look forward to this weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Up next is World News with David Muir.